Hello, hello, luminaries. I hope you're well rested because we have a busy week in the cosmos. Welcome to the Savvy Luminary podcast, Astrology for Entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Leslie Tagorda, creator of the Astrobrand Method, business astrologer, brand designer, author, and Aquarius boss woman. I help visionary spiritual entrepreneurs and impact makers like you illuminate and amplify your unique star powers so you can be the luminary you were born to be. All right, happy new moon, everyone. It is new moon in Aries. And in this episode, I want to talk all about the new moon in Aries as well as the powerful shifts that we are about to experience this week of April 11th through the 17th. As I go through the Business StarCast for this week, please remember that these are the collective cosmic energies available to us all. We get to play with these energies and work with them instead of against them in our businesses. Remember, there is nothing to be fearful of, even if you think that there are some squares and oppositions and all those kinds of things coming up. And yes, we have some Pluto transits coming up. There's nothing to be fearful of as long as you know how to really tune into this energy in your life and your own business. I want you to get really curious about what themes are coming up for you and the energies that you need to learn about. And for some of these larger shifts, we're going to all feel this energy a few days before and a few days after. So let's dive into the astrology of the week. So we have a really big day on April 11th and maybe April 12th, depending on where on this Mother Earth that you live. But our Aries new moon happens on Sunday at exactly 7:31 p.m. Pacific, 10:31 p.m. Eastern. And this is our new moon in Aries at exactly Aries of 22 degrees. We are ripe to plant the seeds for our leadership ability in our businesses. I do hope that you intend to do a new moon ritual today or anytime up to 72 hours after the exact meeting of the moon and the sun. This is such an important one in our businesses because Aries is about our ability to take action and be a leader. So today, I urge all of you to plant the seeds to call in your magnetic leadership style and to be a trailblazer in your business and brand. That is what New Moon in Aries is all about. What kind of leader do you want to be, and what does it feel like to contribute your brilliance in the world? You get to decide. In astrology, the new moon in Aries shortly after equinox is like a New Year celebration, a rebirth as we begin again at the first sign of the zodiac, a time of revival and renewal, and in your business, reviving how you want to show up. Aries is quick and it takes lead. And in your chart by house, it shows you where you are meant to show up boldly and be the leader. Your zodiac sign on your rising or your ascendant on the first house cusp is the archetypal energy you are born to embody in your leadership style and brand identity. But where you have Aries in your chart is where in your life and your business you have the most potential to actually show up as the leader. So this new moon, this is your chance to love the leader you are born to be and fall in love again with your brand identity. Part of that Aries is also about your ego. And so in our business, this really relates to your brand identity. If you feel good and are authentic in your unique style, you become irresistible to your soul customers. You get to decide today what leadership and brand identity you want in your spiritual business. That sweet spot is the intersection of what you want and what others love in you. Now, the house that contains Aries of 22 degrees is the area of your business that desires a fresh intention on how you will take aligned leadership. Before I dig into the astrology of the Aries new moon, I want to give you two reminders. The first is that I am hosting an Aries new moon ceremony with the Indigenous medicine woman, Asha Frost. Asha Frost will be doing our opening ceremony where she will guide us into stepping into our eagle medicine. The eagle is the leader of all of the birds. And to have this vision of the eagle is to be generous. As Robin Wall Kimmerer, who wrote this beautiful book, I urge you all to get. It's called Braiding Sweetgrass. She says that the eagle reminds us of the whole community, that leadership is rooted not in power and authority, but in service and wisdom. So during our new moon ceremony on Monday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, I will be joined with Asha Frost, and she will be guiding us to step into our eagle medicine to take flight. It's not too late to sign up for the new moon ceremony. Head over to thesavvyluminary.com/new moon. So for this new moon, the astrology is pretty intense. At the time of the new moon, we have the new moon, which is the sun and the moon, in conjunction with Venus. And when it's joined in with Venus, we are getting the connection of partnering, ideal customers, and putting some money. Venus represents the resources and the connections to others that we need in our businesses. So you'll want to add a little bit of Venus into your new moon intention. Now, we also have a sextile with Mars. Anytime we have sextiles, actually, we have two sextiles. We have sextile with Mars in Gemini and a sextile with Jupiter in Aquarius. Anytime we have a sextile, these are opportunities. This means that you have to recognize the opportunity's door and you actually have to open it. These are not like triangles where these opportunities just happen to you, where the door is open and they're saying, hey, welcome in, and there's like this red carpet rolled out for you. You actually have to like kind of recognize the door. The door might not be open. You have to be courageous and brave enough to knock on the door and open it up when you have sextiles. So with Mars, the ruler of Aries, we're going to have extra motivation and drive. And with Jupiter, we have an extra dose of gratitude, of abundance, of expansion. So how can you add a little bit of drive, and how can you add a little bit of expansion using both Mars as well as Jupiter? And then later on in that day, we also have a Venus squaring off with Pluto. And so this is in orb for our new moon activation. So bringing in those transformative, powerful collaborators, Pluto with Venus, that's going to be a real place of great tension. So it's thinking about like, who are all of those other women leaders and collaborators that you might think that are a little bit out of reach for you, but it's pushing you. There's a little bit of stretch that you have to work into with that creative tension of that square. And Pluto is going to say, hey, if you don't want to choose how you lead, Pluto is going to choose it for you, and it may not be what you want. So in order to use Pluto, make sure you dive into your shadows, dive into your fears, dive into your shame, really bring those things to light and see how far you can push yourself. From my book, New Moon Rituals for Entrepreneurs, I provided the house activations for this Aries new moon so that you can personalize your new moon ritual and see where you are meant to plant the seeds in your business so that you can show up as the authentic leader you were born to be. The first thing that you want to do is you want to find areas of 22 degrees on your natal chart. And the house on your natal chart is divided into 12 different sections. Each of those 12 little pie pieces represents a house. And the house that contains areas of 22 degrees is the house that is being activated. This is the area of your business that is asking for a new intention. If Aries of 22 degrees is really near the next cusp doorway, then I would consider creating your new moon activation for that next house. If you don't know your houses just yet, I have an inexpensive training on my website called How to Read Your Natal Chart for Business. You can head over to thesavvyluminary.com/mini training. So let's take a look at the different house activations for this new moon in Aries. If your first house is being activated for this new moon, today you will plant the seeds to show up in your business in your authentic leadership style as a natural born, decisive, self directed leader. This is full power to be a personal brand. If you have a second house activation, you're planting the seeds to show up as an authentic leader who is worthy, resourceful, and a natural entrepreneur. If you have a third house activation for this new moon, you are planting the seeds to show up as an authentic leader, as an action oriented orator, that is a speaker, writer, or a thought leader. If you have a fourth house activation for this new moon Aries, you are showing up as an authentic leader and getting really clear on how to show up as nurturing, family, and community centered, a true matriarch. If you have a fifth house activation for this new moon, I want you to get really clear on your authentic leadership style as a heart centered, joyful, and charismatic director in your business. If you have a sixth house activation for this new moon in Aries, you are here to plant your seeds in your authentic leadership style as an organized, systematic, effective commander and operator in chief. If you have a seventh house activation for this new moon in Aries, your authentic leadership style is as a committed partner, outgoing connector, and co creator. If you have an eighth house activation for this new moon in Aries, you are here to get really clear and plant your seeds on your authentic leadership style as a transformative, trusting, and authentic arbiter. If you have a ninth house activation for this new moon, please get really clear on your authentic leadership style as an expansive global explorer and visionary trendsetter. If you have a 10th house activation for this new moon in Aries, get really clear and plant your seeds of your authentic leadership style as a bold, personal brand and professional pioneer delivering on your ultimate mission. If you have an 11th house activation, this is a really special one. Anytime you have an 11th house activation for your new moon, not only are you setting up the intention for that specific house, but you're setting up your intentions for the entire next year according to your harvest cycle. So the 11th house, you're going to be planting your seeds for the entire next year, the next 12 months, as well as your leadership style. Get really clear on the seeds that you want to plant so that you can show up as an authentic leader in your community as a community builder and social impact maker with your eye on the future, a true humanitarian leader. And if your 12th house is being activated for this new moon, get really clear on the seeds that you want to plant in your authentic leadership style to be consciously connected, empathetic, and an intuitive sage leader. What seeds of leadership will you plant today? To get more personalization with your new moon, remember to look to Aries of 22 degrees and notice if you have any natal planets near Aries of 22 degrees or at other cardinal signs, including Capricorn, Cancer, and Libra. If you have any energies in cardinal signs near 22 degrees, these energies will want to add their voice to your new moon intention. And if you have any fire signs, that is Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius near 22 degrees, these energies are going to support you with your new moon intention. Remember, you have 72 hours after the exact meeting of the moon and the sun to really harness the power of the new moon and plant your seeds of intention. Later on that day, later on Sunday, or maybe on Monday, depending on where you live, at exactly 8:20 p.m. Pacific, 11:20 p.m. Eastern, we have Venus squaring off with Pluto. This was an orb with the new moon, and this is about impactful emotional charisma. How are you harnessing your deep emotional magnetism? Close and trusting relationships are at the core of your successful business and authentic leadership. Yes. No one expects you to know everything, and Spirit wants you to be curious to express your vulnerability. Vulnerability is your key to emotional magnetism. What can you reveal about yourself that you've been hiding? What can you ask of others to gain clarity versus assume? Harness the energy of this transit. A few days before and after this exact square off meeting of Venus and Pluto to reveal your emotional magnetism that draws in your soul relationships. You can see how this is all part of leadership as well, right? With our new moon in Aries. So Venus in Aries squares off with Pluto and Capricorn, both at 26 degrees of cardinal signs. So similar to a first quarter moon where outside experiences will entice you to integrate. Look to your natal chart to see if you have any light degrees of cardinal, fire, or earth energies, as these energies will be activated during this transit. On Wednesday, April 14th, Venus enters her home sign of Taurus at exactly 11:22 a.m. Pacific, 2:22 p.m. Eastern. That is such a lucky number, 222. And the theme for while Venus is in her home sign of Taurus is building prosperity and peace for all. We can all use some of that, right? For a lucky few weeks, we get to recognize and share our value with others. What is your true value and how are you sharing it? Venus will be in her home sign of Taurus until May 8th. Here she is comfy, cozy, and in her full power. Venus, our connection to resources, yes, that's money, and people to thrive in our world, appreciates everything luxurious, delicious, and sumptuous. It's the ability to recognize, appreciate, and be gracious to these pleasures that amplifies Venus's power to charm and attract. So show your gratitude, show your appreciation, share your love, and that'll amp up your charm power with Venus. For the next few weeks, while Venus is in Taurus, appreciate your physical resources by savoring each of your senses. Notice the value you create every day and the value you create for the people that choose to work with you. Take it all in by tuning into your values, sensing and expressing gratitude. Then bring to life and amplify your power of financial successes and the pleasure it can afford for you and the ones you love, purely by appreciation and enjoyment of what you already have. If you have any natal planets in Taurus over the next few weeks, as Venus crosses over until May 8th, she'll be pinging all of your natal planets, giving it an extra dose of love. The very next day, on Thursday, April 15th, we have our first square off with Pluto. Well, actually, I take that back because Venus already had a square off with Pluto, but now we have the Sun squaring off with Pluto. We're going to have a lot of Pluto activations, these squares. So at 6:27 a.m. Pacific, 9:27 a.m. Eastern on that Thursday, the Sun squares off with Pluto, the Sun in Aries and the Pluto in Capricorn, where the theme for this day is impactful creative fuel to transform. What in your creative process needs deconstruction? Yes, breakdown, creativity breakdown. But this isn't necessarily a breakdown in a bad way. So a few days before and a few days after, your creativity will be examined. If you're not mindful of this energy, this can feel like outside forces are testing your abilities. If you are mindful of this energy, it can feel like the creative tension needed to give your creative force that extra impact, and transformation. Notice external experiences that may cross your path. This is your clue to see what needs to be deconstructed in order to distill and make better. So, for example, external experiences, this could be a client saying they're not satisfied. This could be one of your employees asking for more clarification. This is always going to be some kind of outside experience that is kind of nudging you to do a little bit better. It may feel uncomfortable, but it is definitely necessary. The Sun in Aries squares off with Pluto in Capricorn, both at 26 degrees of cardinal signs, similar to a first quarter moon, where again, outside experiences will entice you to take action. Look to your natal chart to see if you have any late degrees of cardinal fire or earth energies, as these energies will be activated during this transit and add to your creative fuel. The next day, on Friday, April 16th, we have Mars trining Jupiter. A little bit of flow amongst all of these squares at exactly 10:14 p.m. Pacific, 1:14 a.m. the very next day Eastern, where we have the energy of expansive, progressive, and action-oriented ideals. What big ideas and ideals want to be activated? It's a great time to feel lucky. What I want you to know about all these energies that we have piling up, that a lot of these energies are going to intersect for a few days, and it's going to feel like even more fire under you. So just take a big breath, feel into it, get really patient, and know that this is some energy that we really, really need to get better. So back to Mars trine Jupiter for a few days before and leading up to this harmonious flowing energy, your ideas and ideals will be in sync and will want to be acted upon. The energy is as wide as it is vast. A great energy to get your big vision and message out into the world and refine your big social impact message. Your self esteem may be running high, so make use of this optimistic vibe. Share your visionary message, make those strategic connections, and trust in your luck. Mars and Gemini trine and flow with Jupiter and Aquarius, both at 25 degrees of air signs. Look to your natal chart to see if you have any late degrees of air, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, as these energies will be activated during this transit, adding to your luck. Personally, I'm really looking forward to it. I have my Aquarius conjunction of Sun and Jupiter at 25 degrees of Aquarius. So I'm really excited about that. Then on Saturday, the last transit for this week, the last big transit, non-moon transit rather, on April 17th, we have Mercury now squaring off with Pluto at exactly 2:49 p.m. Pacific, 5:49 p.m. Eastern, where the energy and theme is all about sharp, deep, intense thoughts. What deep inner dialogue wants some light? Now, this can sound really hard, but if you're using this energy right, it is a great day to reveal blocks that keep you stuck. So, this fleeting energy, because Mercury moves really quickly, is revealing and intense. Deep emotions may come forth, a hidden gift if you are ready to understand how to use this energy. Pluto, the great distiller, has the ability to dredge up what we try to hide. And Mercury, our ability to express ourselves and understand things, enables us to talk and express about our hidden truths in a way that brings the unconscious to the conscious. Notice what people may say to you that trigger deep emotions. There's no need to take offense to outside communications, as they are the key to give you insight as to what needs to be revealed in your business and life. If you've been working on mindset issues in your business, you may get the insight you need to uncover what it is that is truly holding you back from initiating your intentions. Be aware that we are all feeling this energy, so be kind to yourself and others. We are all uncovering something. Mercury in Aries squares off with Pluto and Capricorn, both at 26 degrees of cardinal signs, similar to a first quarter moon, where outside experiences entice you to integrate. Look to your natal chart to see if you have any late degrees of cardinal fire, earth, or earth energies, as these energies will be activated during this transit and add to this creative fuel. You notice Pluto's at 26 degrees for quite some time. Pluto is going to really be staying at this part of your natal chart. So if you have anything, any cardinal around 26 degrees or earth signs at 26 degrees, Pluto is just really digging in right now and asking you to transform. So, all right, everyone, that's all we have for this week's astrology. Again, it's not too late to sign up for the new moon ceremony. Head over to the Savvy Luminary /new moon to sign up, or head on over to Amazon and grab my book, New Moon Rituals for Entrepreneurs, so you can always feel set for all of your upcoming new moon intentions. All right, everyone, have a beautiful week. Mahalo for listening to this brand new podcast. If you enjoyed learning about astrology for entrepreneurs, help me spread the word by sharing this podcast with your business besties, and hop over to the Savvy Luminary for links to episode notes and our free Facebook community where you can send me questions about astrology or branding, as well as connect with other like-minded businesses.